I knew I should be doing that to people like Liam Cameron, no disrespect. But it was the 6 months out, you know, little things. Stuff like my brother had 2 daughters, and I couldn't really enjoy it too much because what I was going through online. And it didn't really bother me, but it was like even close friends, people that are classed as family, left me. They had a lot to say about me. But it was a great time to really just go back to the old Ben Whitaker.
And there is Ben Whitaker as he emotionally explains what he went through in the last 6 months. We do know the ring flip. We do know certain stipulations. We do know certain things, contradictions and all that. And me counterpunching that, it should have been an emotional time for him because people did doubt him. I feel bad for him personally because it's one thing for people to just get to know you and then they start doubting you. That's one thing. But it's a totally different thing when people that are close to you turn their back on you. That's some hurtful shit. I mean, it really is, you know, when the people that are closest to you decides, and, you know, it just makes a decision to doubt you. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. We don't know how that fight would have went. We just know it was a wake-up call for Whitaker, and I think it made him a better fighter. You know, I think there's a lot of things he still needs to work on, but at the same time, he didn't take an L. He took a draw because people knew how close that fight really was, you know, and on that night, he might have lost, but that night ended the way that night ended. And this day that he fought Cameron in the second fight was a totally different day, wasn't it? So, you know, I can expect him for getting that emotional. Because I'm pretty sure, you know, online is probably the worst place to be bullied because it's mental bullying. It's, you know, verbal, mental, psychological. You know, you pick up your phone or your tablet or whatever, and it's somebody to have something to say negative about you. That got to mesh with your mindset just a bit, you know, especially someone like Ben Whitaker that was just really widely getting known and getting endorsed by other fighters that's already there. And he's on a different level and the expectations are way up here. And then he has a draw or a mishaps like that. Yeah, a lot of people will turn their back on you. But the good thing is, you know, he was able to humble himself from the experience. And I think that helps him not only as a fighter, but as a person. You know, I think that's the main thing when you're dealing with online people, and people are in love with you one day and then they hate you the next. You know, that's just how fickle boxing is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, look at Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is not anywhere where he was a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And he was the man in them back then. But now he is not. You know, people are doubting him even fighting again, you know, saying that he should get out of the sport and stay out of the sport. So Ben Whitaker, you know, emotional breakdown, you know, warranted, definitely warranted because, you know, he got the knockdown, you know, I mean, the knockout rather, and he did what he's supposed to do in that fight. And that's all he could do. He redeemed himself. And that, as they say, people, is that. But you guys tell me what you think of Ben Whitaker and his emotional breakdown at the press conference. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.